All right, so now let's get started on how do you go from not ranking in search at all to suddenly coming up on the first page of, say, Google search. And this is a strategy that is very important if you want to promote your business the right way, especially in today's day and age. And once you get this strategy right, from there you can apply online advertising such as Facebook ads, Google ads, and whatnot. So let's get started. The number one goal is how to rank from the 11th page to the first page of search. This is going to be the essence of today's conversation. All right. So how are we going to go from the 11th page? When I say 11th page, basically you're not ranking at all, to the first page, which is ranking very high on search, as quickly as possible in the minimum time you possibly could. Before you even think about what to rank for, how to rank for, and just start producing content randomly, the first thing that you really want to focus on is the concept of the red ocean versus the blue ocean. By understanding the concept of red ocean and blue ocean, we'll be able to find a more directed or more focused phrase or keyword that your company will keep standing out for that one thing. So let me focus on this, right? So what exactly is the red ocean? The red ocean is a competition, or rather it's a marketplace where there's a lot of competition and there's a lot of market. So to give you an example, you have a lot of market, there's a lot of consumers, but you also have a lot of sharks, which is to say there is a lot of competition. So as much as there's a market for it, there's a lot of competition for it. And if you're a new in business, suddenly starting to position yourself in the red ocean requires you to do a lot more than what the market is currently doing, which means you got to spend more money on your ads, you got to spend more money on your marketing, and you're also targeting so much. You can consume so much resources that it might not. There's no guarantee it's ever going to even pan out to be profitable for you. Another concept is the blue ocean, where there is a market that is hungry. There's a lot of market again for it. Now it could be either there is no market and you're trying to find a new market, but in all reality, there's always going to be a market. Your question is to discover that market, and we call it a niche. But there's very little sharks in it. So there's one or two, and your job is to enter and be one of the few people. So compared to a more saturated red ocean, our job is to position yourself in this blue ocean system, so that when you're in the blue ocean, it's much easier for you to capture a larger chunk of the market. The market is out there. So now the next question is, how do we know whether we're in the blue ocean or in the red ocean? So I'm going to give a use case study about what we have done at ANTSAND to really hone in on this principle of red ocean versus blue ocean. So now that our goal is red-blue ocean, let's focus on how do we actually go about finding this market. So in my case, I wanted to make sure that I wanted to position my brand for digital marketing. All right. Now, digital marketing in a nutshell is definitely a red ocean. There is too much competition. You're competing with global players. And there's so much under digital marketing. that one can't really even tell you, like, what are you going to focus on? Are you going to focus on, let's give an example. Are you going to focus on SEO? Are you going to focus on Facebook ads? Are you going to focus on social media? Are you going to focus on Instagram ads? Are you going to focus on Google ads? Are you going to focus on, website design or redesign or development? And whom are you targeting? The whole market? Because then are you targeting dentists? Are you targeting architects? Are you targeting XYZ, from different industry? So when you look at it, there's so much that you can actually focus on that it almost becomes, if you're just positioning yourself as a digital marketer, you have a monumental task of even tapping into the market, because you're doing a lot of everything, but you're not specializing in one thing. And this is where the whole idea of blue ocean comes in, where you take a digital marketing and then you're trying to narrow your focus into just one small little thing. Now, one way to narrow is to specify location. So if I say digital marketing, and now I say Vancouver, Vancouver digital marketing, I'm still in the red ocean, but I'm definitely brought myself down from digital marketing, which is now focusing on the global landscape. I'm now come down to a much more narrow focus, because I have specialized and I'm specifically positioning myself under Vancouver. So by just adding location, you've suddenly taken this whole market space and have brought it down into the local competition. Now, the second way of doing this is digital marketing is again very broad. So now I can go one step further and say, okay, what if I only focus on, say, SEO? So now I can say, what if I position my brand as Vancouver SEO consultant or expert? So now I've taken from Facebook to social media to Instagram to Google ads to website design, web development, and whatnot. Now I brought that down to SEO expert. So this is what you really mean by, going from red ocean to the blue ocean, is really honing on that one phrase, that one key phrase that there's a market for. Now, I came up with Vancouver SEO expert because I looked at Google Search Console, I looked at all the data, and I realized that this is what people are searching for, and then I wanted to position my brand accordingly. So you also want to look at data, not just what your company is doing, but look at data to really come up with these phrases, and then combine, your intuition, your skill set, what the company is providing with what the data is telling you, and then you can come up with Vancouver SEO expert. And we went further to make it really blue, in the sense that, where there's not much competition, but it really still hones in on that Vancouver SEO stuff, where we went in and said, okay, let's position our brand for Vancouver SEO expert consultation. And this is the blue ocean that we want to target. So the first thing when you're trying to get into search is to figure out, what is your goal? Are you in the red ocean or are you in the blue ocean? And if you're in the blue ocean, if you're in the red ocean, then you want to basically brainstorm on all the possible markets that you can tap into in your red ocean, and pick up one niche and then move it on to the blue oceans. Instead of taking, if I say digital marketing, I'm just removing SEO and bringing it to and making it more specific. Then one way to add in, to be even more specific, is to add in location. And then also look at the data and then add something more to it. So from SEO expert is still very competitive. Now I've added consultation to make it even less competition. So in simple, instead of competing against, say, 1 million people over here, I'm now competing with maybe 100 people over here. So even though there is still a lot of competition, I have a much higher probability of ranking above 100 people than, say, ranking above 1 million people who are in digital marketing. I mean, it's an exaggeration, but there's a lot of digital marketers out there, and every second business that people are starting is probably being a marketing business. So this is the first step in planning out your SEO, is figuring out where you are. Are you in the red ocean or are you in the blue ocean? All right. So that's the first step. Now that we've got the red ocean and blue ocean set aside, let us now go into answering the next question. How do we make this one keyword, Vancouver SEO expert? Let me note this down. So how do we get this Vancouver SEO expert consultation help us get more leads, position our brand accordingly, and help us rank high on search? So now I've got this. The next question is, how do we make our marketing work in sync? So I want to talk about a goal setting strategy, which is called the OKR. Now, what does the OKR really mean? So we want to set our goal. Our goal is to position our brand as this one particular phrase, because over time, once you dominate this particular phrase, it will bleed into the other categories in the red ocean. Then from SEO, we can talk about Facebook, social media. It can start to bleed because you're dominating a very high demand market, but the market has got less amount of competition. So don't worry too much about, oh my God, I'm leaving money around based on the other services. Focus on just dominating one particular service, and then that will bleed into your other services. And I'm going to show you how and why it would do so. So now our goal is to set a goal. How do we position this? How do we make this work for us? How do we bring this to reality by positioning our brand accordingly? So the first thing that you want to do is set a goal. And the way I set a goal is basically using the OKR principle, the OKR, where O stands for objective, and KR stands for key results. All right. So what does objective and what does key results really mean? So the objective that we really want is to rank on the first page of search in less than 4 months or 3 months. So that's what an objective is. An objective is to position our brand as the Vancouver SEO expert consultation and whatnot. And in my case, consultation could be, the definition of consultation is, where a business owner can, contact us, and then we can do a site audit and tell them, what can we do to improve on their website so that they could rank higher on search. So that's the whole idea of consultation. And we're only going to consult them on, how they can boost their SEO ranking. So that's the premise of what this real key phrase really means. And SEO stands for search engine optimization, which in reality is how do you bring more eyes to your website through search. So we got OKRs. So what is our objective? This is our objective. So now what is our key result? So what are our key results? So you want to have at least 5 key results. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you could have more. So the first key result that you need to focus on, especially when you're trying to get your name out there and rank high, is you need to have a website. So you want to have a website that primarily focuses on Vancouver SEO expert consultation. And when I say website, I mean a landing page. Just have that one page on your website that is just focused on this Vancouver SEO expert consultation. Then you might want to write blogs that support it. You can do podcast. You can do videos. You can do events. You can have marketing resources. You could create your own courses around this. How do you become your own consultant and whatnot, right? So as you can see, I'm just trying to list down all the different key results, but all those key results has got to focus on promoting this one little brand, which is the Vancouver SEO expert consultation. If we're not going to focus on this, if we cannot get, if none of these activities help us achieve this number one goal, then we don't have, then all these activities does not make sense. So all of these activities has to promote this one particular objective. So I'm going to break down one more. We're going to go a little bit more deeper right now. So I'm going to take this website design and I'm going to say, okay, what do we want to do? The goal of this objective has to have two things. One is what the key result is all about. We want to have an ETA as well, which is when do we want to complete this. So we want to say by end of August. I'm giving an example. End of August, I want to make sure that we're ranked. We have this web page ready, and it needs to have these 5 little components. So whenever you create a website, or for a matter of fact, any of your content, you need to have these core critical elements. The first critical element of any web page that ranks is called value proposition. Value proposition. A value proposition is nothing but what value do people get as soon as they visit your website, and you need to capture that value in less than 3 seconds. So for us in our Vancouver SEO Expert Consultation web page, what we did was we just created a laptop. We put an image of a laptop. All right, we put an image of a laptop. We put an image of a search and a web browser, and then we put an image of someone clicking, this first link in a much more prettier way. But the whole idea is that we made an image that basically resonates with what we're talking about. How do you make your web page rank high on search? So a value proposition is supposed to communicate an idea as quickly as possible so that the people know or visitors know what that page is all about. It could be a combination of text, video, audio, phrases, whatever be it, but it needs to communicate that one idea as quickly as possible. After you have your value proposition, and if the prospect is interested in that value, the second thing you want to focus on is the problem definition. Problem definition. The problem definition is where you discuss what the problem that they probably have that you can solve. So for example, for an SEO, so for someone to come up and visit our service, the problem that they might have is they have a web page but it's not ranking high on search. Or the problem that they have is that they have a website, it's not giving them sales, it's not giving them leads. Or they probably have a broken website, it needs to be fixed. And it's got a lot to do with, the revenue, the website not performing to its potential. They've invested quite a bit of money, but it's not giving them a return on investment. So I describe all the problems that they possibly could have, because that tells them that I'm understanding what your problem is. Now I want to help you out. So after problem definition, the third thing that you want to focus on is the amazing, attainable solution. Whenever you create a problem, you need to tell the prospects, how are you going to solve it? What is it that you have that you believe that you can, how are you going to solve the pain point? So your web page needs to have this amazing, a solution that helps them feel like if they use your service, this is the results that they're going to get. So in our case, we basically say, we have one small little package, which is we can do an audit of your website and see where is the loopholes that is causing and leaking away money. And with an inexpensive, it's an inexpensive service, but you actually could get a lot of return on investment if you apply what we tell you, because it's of the consultation service. So, there's a $250 charge for this consultation service. If you want us to apply what we have told you, based on the audit that we just did, it's going to cost you so much. But the whole idea is us to do a thorough audit on your web page, on your existing web presence, and make sure that it's performing. So that could be a solution that we're trying to perform, because it's a consultation service. So we're trying to give you an audit for it. The next thing that we want to focus on is the proof and credibility. So just because you can tell you can solve the problem, what is the proof that you really can? Like, how do I know whether the solution that you're providing really is credible? And that's where you want to give in your reviews, your testimonials, talk about use case studies and whatnot. So proof and credibility is a nice way to, to show that, you're not some scammer that's out there, but you actually can deliver on the promises. You can fulfill on the promises if a prospect wants to use your service. And last but not the least, your web page must have a call to action. And a call to action is, what should your users do? Should they buy a service immediately online? Should they call you? Should they fill a form? Should they send you an email? And all of those parameters should be explicitly written on your web page, that if you have any of this, this is how you can get in contact, this is how you can get in touch with us. So your web page must have all of these 5 elements. If any one of them is missing, then it's not going to perform to its potential. So whenever you're setting up a goal, the first key result is all about setting up this particular landing page. Everything else under this key results, which is blogs, the podcasts, the videos, the events, the marketplace, and all that, is to promote this one page, because this is the page that is going to give you dollars. The rest is all supporting material. The rest from year to year is all supporting material. Whereas this one is going to give you the dollars. And it all focuses on the Vancouver SEO expert consultations. So the whole idea is to use all these platforms to just promote this particular page in some shape or form or the other. So the best way to go about this is, now, why do you want to write blogs, you might say? Why can't I just do advertisements on this page? Fantastic, you could do that. But a better strategy is to first go out there and write at least 15 blogs. Why? Because once you have a blog, this page can only cater to so many keywords. And keywords is nothing but, phrases and words that people are searching for. So people can search for Vancouver SEO expert, but now this page may not have the word local. So if people are searching for Vancouver local SEO expert, this page may not pop up. So you want to figure out a way of, encompassing a lot more broader set of keywords without making this page seem a little too scammy. So you write blogs, and you can write 15 blogs and write a lot very high quality blogs, not just some rubbish, and put a deadline and say, end of August, end of September. You're going to write these blogs, and these blogs are designed again to just focus on what this page is delivering. So right now, you've got Vancouver SEO expert consultation. Here you can write a blog on ultimate guide to becoming your own local SEO expert, an ultimate guide to how do you do a proper audit on a website, or then you can write about 20 best practices to select the best SEO expert. And you can just go on and on listing all the different types of blog topics that are out there. You may talk about, how do you create a content roadmap so that, you can promote your business using content marketing, XYZ. Similarly, create a podcast, because right now Google Podcast is now appearing on search results. So focus on doing podcasts. So you can do videos, you can do events, you can do marketing resources, you can do courses, like for example, how we're doing video, again, focusing on this one message. The whole idea of focusing on this one perspective, this one particular keyword, is the essence of what SEO is. With all of the supporting material, and with the blog, and with the landing page that works, now not only do you have a lot of content on this particular subject, now if you want to do pay-per-click advertisements or Facebook advertisements, it's much easier for you to promote. You can even promote your blogs, you can promote your videos, and then when they read those videos and blogs, it's all linked to this particular page. So now you have so much content around this particular phrase that you have now positioned yourself under the 6 influences of marketing by Robert Cialdini. If you read the book Influence, you're basically trying to tap into the 6 influences of marketing, which is to say the 6 influence or persuasion skills. All right. So the first one you want to do is reciprocity. So the more value you give, you'll eventually get that back. So that's number 1. Number 2 is you're also displaying commitment and consistency. Because if you keep doing this consistently over, 6 months, 10 months, 12 months, or even a year, you're proving to yourself that people love to see consistency. The consistency is a very strong way of showing, you're dedicated, you're disciplined, and this company is all about producing consistent results. And you want to convey that as quickly as possible. The third thing is you're building up authority. Now, because you've written so much content on this particular subject, you'll probably show up for anything related to Vancouver SEO. You'll probably see us show up because we've produced so much content related to that one particular keyword that in search, we've just built up an authority. So whatever people are searching for on search, we'll just rank because of the fact that we've positioned ourselves so dominantly on search. Fourth is you'll also build social proof. Now, if you're hosting events and if you're hosting courses, You have the ability to tell people that, hey, you know what? They do a really good job, and your clients can give you testimonials. Your clients are going to give you testimonials. People are going to come for your event and they're going to talk about it, and word of mouth is going to start spreading. And as a result, you'll have more testimonials. People will believe more into your service, because if you can deliver great results, guess what would happen? They'd want to use your service because they believe that this is the guy who can actually deliver. After you build social proof, you also want to make yourself likable. So likability. Now, if you're written in a very friendly manner, you're not pissed anybody off, you had events and there's a lot of people coming in, and you go build up social proof, you also are able to be very likable. And likability, people buy based on likability, people buy based on authority. So you're just tapping into the influence that helps persuade people. And last but not the least is scarcity. If you are the best in what you do, say for example, you are the best in what you do, all right? And when people talk about Vancouver SEO and yours the only brand that keeps popping up, you're the only brand that keeps popping up, guess what would happen? You would start to get booked very quickly, because it's a high demand core, it's a high demand service, and you'll start to get booked. You start to get booked, so that when a new customer actually comes, they can only start to use your service, say 3 months down the road or 4 months down the road. So that means that helps you fill up your pipeline, because you can't service any new customers because you don't have that much resources remaining. So now because there's a scarcity problem, there's higher chances that most customers might say, hey, you know what, because they're the best, I don't mind waiting, but he is the best. So that scarcity problem is solving two kind of issues, which is he's the only one in the market, they're the only one in the market, so therefore that's a scarcity issue. And second, if we don't use their service as quickly as possible, we may never be able to get their service, because we know for a fact that if we hire them, we are bound to get very high results. And that's how you basically go about ranking from nothing to ranking on the first page of search. And most importantly, you can use these principles to do further advertisements, further marketing, and help you be a very dominant force in your industry for that one particular keyword. Now, as I mentioned, this is how it goes. You first want to find the red ocean versus the blue ocean. Once you know where you are, you found your niche, you focus on that one niche. Then you create your OKR, which is your objective key results. Your objective is to rank high for this particular key phrase. And then you create all the content, the landing page, and the content that is supposed to be provided onto this. I didn't talk about marketing resources. Marketing resources are nothing but things like ebooks, checklists, white papers, and whatnot. You can even write books and whatnot. You can go on and on creating that content, but it's all focused on being the Vancouver SEO expert. And you're doing all of this to produce these 6 influential triggers. You want to build up reciprocity. The more value you give, you'll get back something in return. You're trying to be very consistent in your messaging. You're trying to build authority in your messaging. You're trying to build social proof. You're trying to be likable. And most importantly, you're trying to build scarcity. You're the only one in the market that does this so well that it would be stupid if a prospect does not choose you. Because if they don't, they would probably feel very guilty where they've spent their money. And this is how you become a dominant factor when it comes to SEO and just online marketing in general. Once you have this foundation, it is now then from here, you can take this and just amplify to the next level. As I mentioned, now from here, you can do Facebook advertisements, Google advertisements, and you can just go nuts on, how do you want to promote it. You can do radio advertisements, billboard advertisements, flyers and whatnot, but you got a foundation online. This is an asset that will keep giving months and years to come. So do this exercise properly and you will get your return on investment, guaranteed. Thank you. If you want to know more about how we do what, I highly recommend you subscribing to our YouTube channel. You'll get a lot more tips and tricks on SEO and how do you can go out there and boost your rankings. And we're also giving you strategies that, I don't think many other agencies are doing it the way that we like to do it. And it's very, very hands-on, very, very important strategies that actually work, because this is what we present to our clients and this is what we do for our own business. So it's hands-on, very practical, and you can go and apply it as quickly as possible. It's all about the strategy, it's all about the psychology, because the tools, the technology will keep changing, but the psychology does not change. And that's what we're all about. We really we want to focus on how do you tap into your prospects' minds so that irrespective of what technology is going to come out tomorrow, this strategy will not fail you. So go out there and subscribe to what we're doing. You would really love the content that we're producing because it's very, very valuable. Thank you.